Inhale, arms reach up, palms touch. Exhale, hands back to heart center. Inhale again, arms reaching up. Exhale, hands move down. Once again, inhale, lifting, palms touch. Exhale, hands back to heart. This time, inhale, lift. Exhale, interlace fingers behind the back. On the next exhalation, bowing forward, letting the hands fly up overhead, sending breath to the hamstrings and to that shoulder opening. Every exhale here, a chance to dig deeper into the fold, really open up the shoulders. Next inhalation, gazing forward. Exhale, step back right foot. Place the back knee down and lift arms up overhead for Crescent Moon Lunge. One big breath and then hands frame the foot. Stepping into plank position, slowly lower Chaturanga. Open the heart in upward facing dog and find your downward facing dog, hips up high. Next, inhale, lift the right leg high, three-legged dog, and then step forward. Drop back knee, inhale, lift arms. Big inhalation, then exhale, hands frame foot. Stepping all the way to hands. Flatten the back before taking forward fold. And then inhale, lift the gaze. Stand all the way up, palms touch overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. Next inhalation, lifting arms all the way up and interlacing fingers behind your low back. Pull on knuckles, open the heart, and bow forward. Hands fly up overhead. Once again, stretching the hamstrings and opening up the shoulders. Next, inhale, lifting the gaze out into the distance. Exhale, step back, left foot. Taking back knee all the way down to the mat. Swoop arms up overhead, reaching them behind your ear line. One big breath, then hands frame the foot. Stepping back to plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, roll to cobra or upward facing. Roll shoulders back. And exhale, find your downward facing dog. Settle into it. We'll inhale, left leg high, three-legged dog. One moment, stepping forward, drop back knee. Inhale, reach arms up, Crescent Moon Lunge. And exhale, hands frame the foot. Finishing this sun salute, we'll step to hands, bow into Uttanasana. And then inhale to lift all the way up to stand. Next, inhale, lift palms up overhead and interlace fingers. Exhale, fold, hands fly up overhead, opening shoulders. Next, inhale, gaze out in distance, and exhale, step or hop to plank or chaturanga, rolling to cobra or upward facing dog, and exhaling to find downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg high and step that foot through. Roll back heel and stand up to warrior one, hips squaring forward. You might open arms out wide to a T, just opening up the shoulders, opening up the heart. We'll transition for warrior two. Standing tall, shoulders releasing back. And then left hand tracks down left leg, right arm reaches back. We find peaceful warrior. If you'd like to, make this a core supported pose, lifting bottom palm, either parallel to top or swivel it forward, so opens the heart. As you roll down, take hands to frame the foot and slide through Vinyasa, every posture linked to a breath, moving at your pace and your pace only. Eventually lifting left leg high and stepping that foot through, rolling back heel down and standing up for warrior one, hips square forward. You might open arms to a T to feel the shoulders really opening here. Feel the heart beam forward. And then find your warrior two. Arms parallel to the floor, hips wide open and shoulders releasing down your spine. Next, track the right arm down right leg, left palm reaches to the back for peaceful warrior or reverse warrior. And then if you'd like to, make this a core supported pose, lifting the bottom palm in some way. shifting your heart up high to the ceiling. And we'll windmill arms, take hands to the ground, stepping all the way through Vinyasa, linking postures and breath. Meeting in downward facing dog, we'll hang out here for a couple of breaths, sending sit bones very high, pushing the floor away with palms. Next, we'll practice a fun little balancing series, stepping into a very tight little downward facing dog, and then lifting the right leg very high. Take your right hand to the outside of the left ankle, and then continue to bow forward for a standing split. Just breathe into it, get to where you can, your leg doesn't have to go this high. And then we'll shift out. Notice my left hand is about underneath the left shoulder. This enables me to roll right up into half moon pose. Got to roll the right hip up though, and keep that top leg either parallel with the floor or higher. If it's in your practice, you might bend knee, grab the foot for wheat stalk pose, opening heart up to the ceiling. Eventually bowing forward and trying it on the opposite side. Tight little downward facing dog. Kick left leg high. Take left hand to the outside of the right ankle and pull your torso down. Keep lifting the left leg high. Get your right hand just about underneath the right shoulder and then roll the left arm up toward the ceiling, the left hip up, flexing top leg or top foot, and keeping that leg at least parallel with the floor. Only if it's in your practice, try bending the top knee, grabbing hold of that foot or ankle, and opening the heart up towards ceiling for wheat stalk pose. Slowly release. Find your tight downward facing dog and step into Adho Mukha Svanasana, softening knees and hopping to hands, bowing for forward fold, and then inhaling to lift all the way up, palms touch overhead. Stepping to the front of the mat, next inhale, lift palms up overhead and interlace fingers behind you. Exhale, dive forward, hands fly up overhead. We'll gaze into the horizon, take fingertips to the ground. On the exhale, step or hop all the way to plank or chaturanga, rolling into cobra or upward facing dog, and finding your way to downward facing dog. Take the right leg up and step that foot to the outside of the left hand. This might be different from what you're used to. Try keeping the left hand planted on the ground. You might take it to a block and then roll the right arm up to the ceiling. This is a funny variation of rotated triangle, but it feels really good, I'll tell you. And then roll the right hand down and left hip and arm up to the ceiling, finding Trikonasana. And then sliding the hips all the way to the left so you can find a variation of Wild Thing. You can do whatever you need to do, bending knees and using feet to get there. Stepping back into downward facing dog, we'll do it again on the other side. Stepping left foot up and take it to the outside of the right hand. Keep the right hand planted as you roll the left arm up toward the ceiling, finding rotated triangle here. A little diagonal, a little wide-legged, but it feels really nice. Roll your left hand down and your right arm up. The back heel will root, and you'll find Trikonasana, lifting high up through right fingers. And then shift your knees, shift your feet, send the hips through, and take a Wild Thing, reaching back, finding some kind of back bend, and then sliding on out of it and stepping into downward facing dog. From here, softening knees, emptying the belly before hopping all the way to hands, bowing in for forward fold, and rolling right on up to stand, palms touch overhead, and hands into heart for Namaste.